Have you ever wondered how a single moment, a single stranger, can flip an entire life upside down? What if I told you that the most powerful king in the land was taught the true meaning of humanity by a girl who owned nothing? No crown, no palace, no power, just courage and a heart too big to ignore. This is not just a story. This is the poor girl who taught the king the meaning of humanity. The kingdom of Ardenfall was massive. Tall castles, golden streets, armies that could shake the ground. And at the top of it all stood King Alaric. People called him the Iron King, not because he was strong, but because he was cold. He ruled with logic, not love. Rules, not mercy. Power, not compassion. To him, people weren't people. They were numbers. Workers. Soldiers. Subjects. If a village starved, he called it poor planning. If people cried for help, he called it weakness. And honestly, no one dared to question him. On the other side of the kingdom, far away from the palace walls, was a forgotten slum called Lorridge. Broken houses, dirty streets, hungry children, and there lived a girl named Elena. She was 18. No parents. No money. No future, at least that's what people thought. She worked all day, every day. Cleaning homes. Carrying water. Doing anything that paid a few coins. But Elena had something rare. She still believed in people. Even when life kept hitting her hard, she didn't turn bitter. She helped others. Even when she barely had enough for herself. One rainy afternoon, the king decided to ride through the outer city. No guards. No announcement. Just him and his horse. He wanted to observe the people. But what he really wanted was confirmation that his system worked. That people were fine. Then his horse slipped. Hard. The king fell. Straight into the mud. And for a moment, the most powerful man in the kingdom was helpless. People froze. No one moved. Helping the king was dangerous. One wrong move could cost your life. But Elena didn't hesitate. She ran. Grabbed his arm. Pulled him up. "Easy there," she said. "You're bleeding." The king stared at her. No fear. No bow. No respect. Just concern. "You know who I am?" the king asked coldly. Elena nodded. "Yeah. You're the king. Then why aren't you kneeling?" She shrugged. "Because right now, you're just a man who fell." That hit him hard. No one had spoken to him like that in years. She tore a piece of her scarf and wrapped his wound. "Why help me?" he asked. She looked around. "Because if we stop helping people, just because they're powerful, what does that make us?" The king had no answer. Instead of leaving, the king stayed. He followed Elena through Lowridge. He saw kids sharing one piece of bread, old men collapsing from hunger, mothers crying silently at night. "This is impossible," he said. "My reports never showed this." Elena laughed bitterly. "Yeah, because hunger doesn't write reports." That line stuck with him. The next day, guards arrived. They took Elena to the palace. People thought she was done for. But instead, she was invited to dinner. Not as a servant. As a guest. The king wanted to test her. He gave her gold. She gave it away. He gave her silk. She sold it. And bought food. You could have kept it all, he said. She replied, I already know how it feels to have nothing. I don't want to forget. One night, the king finally spoke. He told her about his childhood. A war. A dead mother. A throne taken too early. I learned power, he said. But not people. Elena listened. Then said softly, power keeps you alive. Humanity makes life worth living. Silence filled the room. Change doesn't come easy. Nobles were angry. Advisors whispered. The system was threatened. A rebellion started. And Elena was blamed. She corrupted the king, they said. Guards came for her. The king stood in their way. For the first time, he declared, I rule for the people. The rebels attacked. The palace burned. Elena was hurt. While saving children trapped inside, the king carried her himself. Blood on his hands. Tears in his eyes. Why would you do this? He asked. She smiled weakly. Because this is what being human means. Elena survived. The kingdom changed. Food programs. Fair laws. Open gates. The king walked among his people. Not above them. With them. And every year, he visited Lowridge. Not as a ruler. As a man. Who once learned the meaning of humanity. From a poor girl. Sometimes, the crown doesn't teach you wisdom. Sometimes, a broken street does. And sometimes, the poorest soul is the richest teacher of all.